What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back. I'm your host, Trainer1. More Metal Gear Solid 3 walkthrough Foxhound run. First thing you want to do, obviously, is pick up the camouflage that's right next to you, and we're going to equip it. This can be really, really tough for those of you that maybe haven't played this in a while. It took me a little while to remember where everything was in the cave, but I still do use the cigar, as this is not a no-damage run or anything like that, and it doesn't take too much time to figure where you need to go. There's going to be a little section that you can crawl right to. It can be a little tricky once you go inside because sometimes the camera angles can get a little mixed up. But if you just keep going, follow the path. Now what I'm seeing is actually less than probably what you're seeing right now, as I've upped the brightness a little bit so you can kind of make your way through a little easier when you're looking at it. But it was definitely a lot more tougher for me to actually get through this. So hug the wall as much as you can and then just continually move forward. So let me explain about this next boss fight, the pain. This was the biggest pain in my arse. So I don't do this expertly, perfectly, to say the least. I only take maybe one little itty-bitty damage, and that is mainly because I stayed underwater too long. So in regards of not taking too much damage, then I did pretty well. But this is one of those boss fights that you're going to play hours and hours and hours, and every single time you do it, it's going to be different. He has so many different attacks, and we're going to go through all of them. It takes me a little bit longer to get through this battle than I would have wanted to, but a lot of people have a harder time to get through this unless you've played the game for years and years and years, and it's you know, second nature with the controls. But that's just not the case with me. So I'll kind of go over a little bit the telltales of everything that can end up happening in your run through of this. So immediately once you get to the next section, go to the right here. We're going to pick up specifically the shotgun. Now this is something that you can use or not use. It's up to you. I actually don't end up using it, but it's still good to have it because you never know if for some reason you might end up needing the shotgun for any reason. I'm going to actually end up using the AK-47. So now we're just going to head back to where we were when we started, into this area, and then move to the right. So that's pretty much it. So what we're going to have equipped is our MK-22. We're going to have our regular grenades. We're going to be using those a lot, and they spawn on the map as well. We're also going to be using our AK-47 for the beehives grenades. But this is a very, very interesting boss fight, to say the least, and it can take you quite a long time. I can't really give you an honest-to-God strategy that'll help you to get through this every single time. You just have to play the game enough to get used to what little curveballs it can throw at you. Once you know exactly the telltale signs of what's going to happen or what's he going to do next or when he's about to start it, then you know what to do and you'll have a better chance at actually getting through this. So hopefully you guys enjoy the cutscene, and I will see you back when we get to the boss fight.
I caught you at last. We are the sons of the boss. Ha! I am the pain. Ha! I will guide you to a world of anguish beyond your imagination. Let's get started.
Alright, so immediately go ahead and equip your Mark 22. Try to get as many shots as you can. I am horrible at aiming. I will be the first one to say that I am not good at aiming with this game. It's just too out of modern for me to be able to aim in this. So he's usually on my playthrough, he always throws the vials, so you need to come over here. Once he does that, you get one or two hits maybe in on him, if you're lucky. And of course, this is all random. He might have the beehives around him, therefore you can't get shots on him. He also has a bunch of invincibility frames, as you can see, so you don't want to shoot too fast on him. But once he gets his beehives and he goes into the grenade, you want to shoot the grenade. Hopefully you shot it while it was still on the platform. Unfortunately, there it was on the platform but wasn't close enough. So here, there's a trick to throw in the grenades. Usually when you throw the grenade, you wait a few seconds it'll actually allow you to be able to throw it right at him, but it doesn't always work, and sometimes it won't work. He can do these little maneuvers like that where he'll keep you from being able to move. So really there's not a lot that I can say. It's just about showing you the different types of damage that he can deal to you and the different ways that he does things. Whenever he does a grenade, as you can see, if you throw a grenade, you can get a few good easy shots in here. Don't spam it. I'm not good at the tactical reload, so I don't really use it. But don't spam hits. If you try to spam hits, he has invincibility frames, meaning that every time you hit him with the Mark 22, he'll automatically have about 2 seconds of you can't hit him again if you do it the way that I do it. So again, it's a mixture of throwing grenades, but again, sometimes he does this and he ruins the fact that I threw that perfectly timed grenade to be able to do that. And you can get disoriented a lot. I know I'm speaking fast, but I want to make sure I get everything in there. There's just so many things that he can do. So there's one spot around here that grenades spawn. The only way they'll respawn is if you have 0 left. So try not to use stun grenades, as you might need them later, as regular grenades will take the bees down perfectly, and it doesn't actually damage them in any way, but it does allow you to be able to get in there with the Mark 22. So rinse and repeat. Always go for the grenades. See, the moment I throw the grenades, he actually loses that, so we didn't really need to throw the grenade at that point.
Oh, my brother!
But if he throws a grenade and you're on top of the platform, immediately get down as soon as you hear the grenade drop. If you do that, it will not damage you. Let's say if you're in the water and he throws a grenade like this here, wait till you hear the drop, and then you're invincible pretty much while you're getting out. He goes into this Tommy gun. This can really disorient you because of the way that the camera switches, so just wait till you get control again and then get out of the way. It's pretty easy. You'll never take damage from the Tommy gun if you're on this side. Sometimes you can actually get a few hits. He only fires twice, 2 different sections out of the net. That's when you can get back up. And then, as you can see, throwing grenades just doesn't always, even though that actually worked, it was still pretty far away from it. But that should be the last part of this first section here. Alright, so now we move to the second part of the battle. This is the one that can take a lot of damage from you. You need to, anytime he does the bullet bees there, you need to get down as soon as you can. Now, immediately you can get right back up and rinse and repeat the same strategy that we've been doing, throwing a grenade at him while he's got the beehives on him, and hopefully that it'll be close enough to hit him. Even if he does the vials, you should still have a few seconds before they would actually get to you and do any damage. Now, when you do get hit by the vials, you have to immediately, after you hit them a few times, go down under the water so that you're no longer sprayed with that chemical mist. And then you just rinse and repeat. That's the biggest thing about this, is just to rinse and repeat. Once you learn the different patterns that he can do, then this fight becomes pretty easy. I beat it many, many times, sometimes without taking damage. It's just, it can be very, very difficult because sometimes you'll shoot at him, but you won't do any damage because of the invincibility frames, and that just took me too long to realize that you have to wait a few seconds before you're able to hit him again. So you just gotta kind of hope and pray for the best, really. And as you can also see, damage to his torso doesn't do nearly as much as headshots. See how those were doing no damage because I just wasn't waiting long enough. And I, again, am my biggest setback in this battle, as I was still learning all of the controls and learning this specific battle. I think I played, I want to say, about 4 hours of this battle alone, just trying to learn every maneuver that he does, and as you can see, it just doesn't work out the way you always want it to. But he is pretty easy to defeat. He just is always doing random stuff and you never know what's going to happen. Most of the boss battles, you know exactly what they're going to do, but this is one of those battles that you just don't know what's coming up next. And you can't always throw grenades where you want to. And of course, when I get a good grenade, I get hit by that. Nice little butt shot. See? Invincibility frames. So again, always just go back and forth to get your Get your grenades. Now, again, your stamina is going to start to drain rapidly, so take an eye out on your O2 gauge and make sure you don't go too low, because I do end up taking some damage from me not realizing that my O2 was too far low, and then it depletes really fast. So you definitely got to watch out for that. If you had the crocodile cap for any reason, like you went and got it in the swamp, then you'd be able to aim a little bit better, but I don't have that. See, what looks like to be headshots, but you just gotta wait. Oh, they're so close. He never stays still, and that's what makes it so tough, and I'm horrible at aiming. I am not one of those guys that played this game for the past 7 years, off and on. You know, I haven't played it since I did the very easy walkthrough back in 2012. And that's about really the only little amount of damage that I take. It's that Tommy gun, because he didn't teleport the Tommy gun. Usually you'll have subtitles that'll say Tommy gun, but I had no idea when I went up that he was going into the Tommy gun that time. And again, every single time I throw my grenade, he's got something else for me there just to counter it. So like I said, at the moment I'm about ready to start hitting him again, it goes into that. But that's what it is. Again, this will be the longest battle you see. Looks like I'm almost hitting them, but I'm actually not. It's crazy, because you gotta be so precise. I mean, I shot 4 or 5 shots right there that were so close to his head, but just the slightest bit of movement just completely ruins it for you. But the battle is about ready to come to an end now. Again, here is where I take a little damage from the... It can be tough sometimes to orient yourself because of the camera. I'd say the biggest problem I had in this and learning everything was that the camera is just horrible implementation. It's not really horrible, it's just when you're so used to modern camera, this going back and forth is really, really bad. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Alright, so now that we got that boss battle out of the way, what we're going to do next is go ahead and grab the camo that he drops. Again, every enemy or boss that you kill will drop ammo if you kill them non-lethally. And it's easier if you change your camera here to make sure you make the jump. So, pick up the camo, and now, as you notice, our stamina is really, really low. We didn't really take barely any damage. But there is a quick way to get your stamina back up without actually having to use any items or eat any food or anything like that. That is to go into your codec and go to this specific codec frequency, and you should be able to immediately get your stamina back up. And there's a bunch of frequencies that you can use. So throughout the walkthrough, you're going to see me use different frequencies. You can only use one at a time. So again, there are a bunch of them out there that you can use that will allow you to regain your stamina very, very quickly. We're going to switch back to our Tiger Stripe. I prefer to go with Tiger Stripe for most of the walkthrough, as it has the perfect blend of guards being able to see you when you want them to and not being able to see you when you want them to. And hopefully that makes sense. Like some of the strategies that I've done, especially earlier in the game, if you would have had a different camo on, would not have worked, especially the one when you're leading up to talk to Sokolov for the first time. That strategy there would not have worked if we did not have the basic camo that you start that game with. If you chose any other camo, then you would not have been able to pull it off. Here you're going to have a little cutscene up ahead, which is going to introduce some new types of enemies, but they're pretty easy to get by. Alright, so sometimes I accidentally hit the pause button because I'm trying to skip the cutscenes as fast as I can. You don't really need to pick up any of this, but up ahead there is some items that we can get. In order to get them, you want to switch to your regular ammunition, your M19. They are surrounded by claymores, which is why you want to shoot them. Just make sure you're far enough away. MK22 bullets, M19, and AK-47, which will definitely come in handy for the Fear boss battle. So it's time to move on to the next section, which is the little swamp area that you need to crawl through. Be careful here. Make sure you jump more to the right than I did. I barely made it. But it is a quicker way to get down instead of having to go all the way around. And we'll move on to the next section. Here you just immediately want to go down, and you're going to swim the whole way. You should have enough stamina to where you'll be able to make it pretty easily. You really never have to worry about being seen on this. Just stick to the right, and most of the time the guards will never even know you're there. You do have to pop up because you have to take a look at your O2 gauge. So once that starts getting low and you pass this guy right here, go ahead and pop up just to get it back up before you take any damage. And then continue along. And there's still one more you need to worry out. Once you're past him, you can get back up. And we're going to switch and make sure that our suppressor is back on our Mark 22 so we can get back into stealth mode. We have a long cutscene up ahead. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you once it's done.
Get your hands off me. I'm not going anywhere.
Really now? How many times must I tell you?
Tanya!
Each time you resist, your lover will suffer the consequences. Is that clear?
Vulcan. Damn you!
Hold it right there, traitor. Let's find out just how lucky you are. Watch closely. One of these 3 guns has a single bullet in it. I'm going to pull the trigger 6 times in a row. Are you ready? Looks like your luck hasn't run out yet.
There's no such thing as luck on the battlefield. You'd better stay in line from now on. The Cobras will take care of him.
Has the CIA dog been disposed of yet?
The pain is dead.
What? He may be a child, but he's definitely one of yours. I fear Khrushchev may have a hand in this. We have no time to lose. You must eliminate him before the final test.
Don't worry. They'll be able to handle it. I'm leaving him to you, the field.
The old man is always sleeping. Is he all right?
The end is saving what life he has left in him for battle. Normally, he's dead. But he'll wake up when the time is right. And when he does, it will be the end for the boy.
No. Sokolov isn't worth your love. You can entertain me until the rain stops. Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
The Sorrow, is that you?
So I pretty much tried everything that I could think of to get by these guys without taking them out, because that was the goal that I wanted, was the least amount of knockouts. But you literally have to knock out all three of these guys. It's just the way that they're situated. You can kind of get by this guy, but they even see you in the water, especially with the uniform that I have. I know we could probably change uniforms, make things a little different, but again, we're keeping with the tried and true uniform that we're using here. So go ahead and take those guys out. Pretty easy to do if you just do that from where you start. Take this guy out. We're going to go ahead and grab some stun grenades as well as Mark 22 ammo. And what I got up ahead took me a little bit of time to figure out, but I think I'm pretty sure no one else does exactly the way that I do this. And it's actually really, really cool. This allows me to get by these three guards here without taking any of them out. So you need to immediately, as soon as this starts, run. We're going to jump at this corner, and we're going to keep going. Do not stop. You can actually run through this whole section. You're far enough away to where they won't actually be able to hear you. Here we're going to stop because we got to wait on this guard. Now other people do all kinds of things like using cardboard boxes and whatnot. We're going to use the stun grenades. Now you don't have to use the stun grenades, but you're going to have an easier time getting through this if you do. Wait until he's about a little bit more than halfway past and then start running. Make sure you're holding down the X button in order to do that. Keep running. Keep going. This guard here will not see you, and we're going to get over here against this barrel. Now, there was something else I could have tried. I could have tried kept going to where he was. Again, you can knock him out if you want to and then keep going, so that'll save you some time. Maybe you can get right behind him and then wait as soon as he turns to the right, then you can go. But here, this is the safer route. Just wait until he passes, and you're easily able to get by him without worrying too much. He will not look in this direction. Go into your stalker mode, and you should be able to get by him with major ease. Alright, so the next section, there's a few traps and things that you need to watch out for. So if you want, go the route that I do to make sure that you avoid these. I do go over some traps, but that's because I use the roll mechanic, which allows us to go over it without actually setting it off. One is right here. Then you just need to follow this path to go around and make sure you don't hit any more. So really you only have to worry about one trap. Well, two, sorry. But once you get by that, then you're clear to the next section. So again, we're back on trying not to take any soldiers out. So there are a lot quicker ways to get through these sections, but I'm going to do this without firing a single shot. Which pretty much is really easy to do. You just need to get down and crawl. I know I get a lot of people that say, you know, why didn't I do something this way or this way? Why do I want to take people out? Because I just prefer the challenge of trying to figure out how I can just leave them be. Make sure I do not touch them as much as possible. Now we do end up taking one guy out in the next section, only because he has a very, very slow pattern and he's directly in your line of sight for a long time, and you can't really get around him unless you wait about a good 3 or 4 minutes, and I don't want it to be that boring for you. So here, just continually move, stay as far to the left as you can. The tiger stripe camo gives you a 70% camo index, which means that he can't see you from where you are right here. So you're pretty much good to go. Now you just need to wait until he turns around a little bit. If you want, go ahead and shoot him. Do it how you want. I just love that challenge of knowing that I was able to get by without actually messing with them. Now I kind of get stuck here because of the way that the controls are. They're really, really bad. So I can't actually move forward right now, so you kind of have to stand up. But luckily he's already turned around, and then we can go back down and face where we need to go. The controls can be your biggest hindrance in this game. It is an older title, so it's just a different time period, and we've been so used to the way modern controls are now. So go ahead and get out your Mark 22. We're going to take out this guy as soon as as soon as we get to the next section, and then we can immediately go inside to the facility. And then once we're in there, it's pretty easy to get around, because we're going to be using the scientist disguise. So immediately, as soon as you have control, if you just go into first person, you can see that you're already aimed on the guy, and you can take him out quite easily. He's the only guy you really need to take out in this section because he's so far away from you and he can see you. You got to take him out because it'll just take 3 minutes or so for him to do his pattern for you to sneak around him, and that's just too long. Here, go ahead and get your scientist outfit out. And it pretty much makes this section going through a breeze. This is an outfit you automatically get that Eva gives you when you first meet her. You don't have to worry about any guards seeing you. What you have to worry about are the scientists. So you do need to be careful about them, but it's pretty easy to get around them in this. I'm going to go through this door up here, and then you're heading to the next area. You're going to pick up the 6 spray because those will definitely come in handy a little bit later. So just continuing around the corner here and pick up the 6 spray. And guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I put a little bit more beefy gameplay in it for you guys. So there's a lot of cutscenes. Next video we'll start with a long cutscene. Wait for this scientist guy to turn around, and then you're free to go. Get up against this corner here because you need to wait for him to move. Once he sits down and turns around, then you're free to go. Don't worry about them seeing you or anything like that. And guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. It takes a lot of effort to make these. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.